So we're going to carry on with Kelly Worden's Silent Fighter set. These are going to be movements 28 to 35. So I'm not sure what part we're into, but after the eye gouge and the low strikes on both sides, comes this next part. It's the sticky leg section, and it is 28 to 35. So 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35. And then I'll show you the application of that next. All right, so as we're looking at that silent fighter movement of kicking, or sticky leg sequence, of course, if Steve were to step forward for me, be my attacker and not move at all, I could get 4 kicks in on him. That's not, of course, what that's about. But if I am looking, I'll just turn my back to the camera to be rude, but so you can kind of see it a little bit. If I was in a confrontation where I had a little bit of attachment or something and I was surging and I was going to dump out, you can see where now a low hit, a high hit, or some combinations thereof would all come into play. With that as well, if I was able to do that, I could also then simply release. There's a nice heel anywhere to the knee or the inside, sensitive to that inside of the thigh, and then of course kicking straight out towards the knee again. After that, it could get very Gucci with kind of a set down and stuff, but we have to look at it in relation to what's possible and what's plausible. I mean, the martial arts romancing it a little bit versus my just dumping out, hitting him here, hitting him there, and now maybe looking at a arm bar or something, or moving into a lock or some strikes or something like that. The idea is with that sequence that we are learning to strike both the front and back. So on the silent fighter, it can be front and back legs, just of course of being different sizes. Is there validity to sweep kick? I think rightfully so. If we were in some sort of standing grappling range, let's just do this way just so I can show for the camera. So if we were in some sort of standing grappling here, you know, obviously a nice heel kick here and then grinding down could even lend in to a base disruption. Those base disruptions being to the feet, to the opposite, and then taking him down, or even to the shin, right? And then taking him down. Those kind of things are all in there. So whether or not, another bit of it would be that I'm learning to not stand where I'm being able to be attacked. If I am striking with Steve, I'm in a position where I don't have to unlock a leg in order to throw it. It's already to the point where it's usable. I'm not, without him noticing, if that makes sense. So I don't have to shift my weight. He knows now that that's coming, versus not having to do that. I mean, I'm blocking my groin from being struck, but already I'm exactly. And as he goes to cover that, well, now I simply step in for a base disruption, and he's already taken down. Oh, of course, the fingers are always going to be there, right? That kind of stuff. So that's just one brief little way of looking at that. Remember, looking at those base disruptions or looking at that sticky leg sequence, not romancing the stone too much, it is applicable to martial arts. I could have a guy kind of slightly in an arm bar, well, that's quite valid. Moving him slightly off to then strike that back. There's the side kick. Oh, just a step across, roll the ankle over and take him down. Very easy. Depends on how your tool development is versus your structure, what kind of footing you're on, ice, that type of thing as well.